Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday night. I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. I'm so excited that so many of you are joining us tonight from all over the world. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can see me and hear me, and let me know where you guys are watching from. We've got the chat open so you guys can ask your questions in the chat. You can type your info in the chat as well. I know we're live streaming on a few social media platforms. We're also on BioLimitless.com/live. And I'm excited to be with you all. So I hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm super fired up and excited. It's been an amazing day today. And let me just say this to you. Let me just say that, you know, even though it's a crazy world we live in, it's exciting where we are and where we're going. And man, I'm excited about tonight because I get to have a conversation with you just like I get to have with the patients that come into my practice and see me every day. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a functional medicine practitioner. I run a primary care practice of functional medicine in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm also a doctor of natural medicine. I'm also a doctor of chiropractic. I've got a lot to say tonight about health. And many of you have been with me before and seen a lot of the conversations that we've had in the past. And tonight, it's going to be pretty similar to how we run our normal Wednesday nights. I'm going to do my absolute best to keep my lecture around 30 to 45 minutes, and then I'm going to spend the last 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so, answering and helping you with your questions. So put those in the chat when they come up. So here's what I want to talk to you about tonight. How many of you know people that maybe this is you, or maybe this is a friend of yours that they just, they've got multiple things going on with their health. Maybe they're overweight, maybe they're on a couple medications, like their blood pressure is high, their cholesterol is high, their energy's low, their sex drives down, they don't feel like having, a social life. They have certain problems, and a lot of times they'll go to their doctor and they get disappointed because their doctor says, here, just take this pill, or we need to do this surgery. And many people go to many different doctors. In fact, a lot of my let's just call them senior citizens patients, say that they spend most of their retirement going to doctor's visits every day, right? And Monday they go to the cardiologist, and Tuesday they go to the orthopedist, and Thursday they go to the pain doctor, or whatever. They have so many different and nobody's talking to each other, and they don't know what to do. How many of you have ever felt like there's just so much going on in your life, physically, chemically, emotionally, spiritually, that you don't know if you're coming or going, and it just feels like you just need to push the reset button? I mean, somebody give me type amen in, or give me a thumbs up if that's you, or someone who needs that. And so when people come to me, you have to understand, most of the folks that I see, they've already been so many places. They've tried conventional medicine, that's failed. They might have even tried conventional unallopathic medicine, like a naturopath or a chiropractor or herbalist. We take a little bit of everything and put it together. So when we talk about the BioLimitless system, it's all about self-care. I want you to learn about your health, because the reality of it is that the more that you learn about your health, well, the better you can take care of yourself. How many would agree with me on that? And so we're going to talk about that tonight, but I want to talk a little bit about the fact that sometimes you just need to reset your cells. You need to reset your body to its, factory settings, if you will. And think about this. Your cells in your body are massively overloaded. And the quality of your health is in direct proportion to the health of your cells in your body. If your cells are not healthy, your body can't be healthy. If you have sick cells, you're going to have sick tissue, you're going to have a sick organ, and you're going to be a sick individual. So if you have healthy cells, you can have healthy organs, healthy individual. Does that make sense? I mean, it really is pretty commonsensical if you think about it and understand how it really works. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, is how can you really reset your body and reset your cells. So I hope you've got a pen and a piece of paper, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that tonight. So your cells are overloaded. They're swimming in toxins. There's a brand new report that just came out. This is very important, by the way. And tomorrow night, I'm going to go deep into this. I have another workshop this coming Thursday. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's biolimitless.com/detox. or you can go to this link and it'll be there as well. And it'll be all over our social media. But we're going to talk about the fact that chronic illness, we now know, is caused by chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation primarily is caused by environmental toxins, microplastics, heavy metals, glyphosates, pesticides, larvicides, all these things that cause problems with us. So these toxins are destroying our body. And so we need to reset our body. And I'm going to go through a process of how to reset. So there's many ways to do this. And you can get really specific and really stringent, or you can do it very lackadaisical. But the better effort you put into this, the better the responses you're going to get. Does that make sense? So let's talk a little bit about resetting and why we built what I call a biolimitless reset. And it's really to restore the signals of your cells. It's to detox your terrain. It's to reboot your biology. And we're going to go all the way back to your factory settings. And it can be done. I don't care if you're 18 years old or you're 88 years old. I've worked with people of all those ages and a little bit older, and you can do this as well, regardless of what health challenges or problems you have. And guess what? When you do that, when you reset your body, you shift your function. Your body's going to shift from what we call a sugar burner to a fat burner. And that's what most people are dealing with right now is sugar burning, not fat. And when you shift to a fat burner, it changes the way your brain functions, your cells function, and it improves your DNA and helps with longevity. You can think more clearly. You can regrow tissues in your body. You can repair damage to inflammation that's been caused, and you can restore your gut and your brain communication by just simply resetting your body. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some things that you can do to help that reset? So the first thing I want to talk about is cellular resetting. And this is really the daily foundation of what you should be doing. By the way, you can go on our website, biolimitless.com, and you can find the book that we created, 45 Easy Reset Challenge. This is the workbook that literally talks and walks you through, and it's for free on that website, 45 Easy Reset. It's on biolimitless.com. And it's 45 powerful days of 7 simple steps. And we've had people in 45 days lose fat, drop weight, get off medications, help them reduce the inflammatory problems that are causing a lot of their cellular issues. So it's a process. And I'm going to tell you what some of those things are. It's shifting your timing of your food. So let's talk about that first. So let's talk about foods, because I'm telling you, I'm going to share with you some supplements and some products today that are beneficial, but you cannot out supplement a poor lifestyle. Let me say that again. You cannot out supplement a poor lifestyle. So first of all, I need you to shift your foods a little bit. Now, some of you are vegetarian and vegan, and that's completely fine, but most of you are not getting enough protein in your diet. That's right. The research is clear that most people do not get enough protein in their diet. So let me give you rule number 1 of resetting your cellular health. Number 1, whatever your ideal body weight is, let's say you're 150 pounds is your ideal, 200 pounds, 110, 130, whatever your ideal weight is, that's how many grams of protein you should be having every day. It's how many grams you should be having. So if your goal is 150 pounds of weight, 150 grams of protein is a really great place for you to be. And you may be thinking, man, that's a lot of protein. That's because you're not getting enough protein. That's what your body needs. So if we can shift your foods to what we refer to as a carnivore keto type food plan, where you're eating protein at every meal, your snacks are protein, and you're eating a lot of good healthy fats like eggs and avocados and those kinds of things, that will help you shift from a sugar burn to a fat burn. Now, if you want to burn fat while you're doing this, you have to cut the fat out of your diet. If your body is ingesting fat, good fat or bad fat, whether it's bad fats like vegetable oils or fried foods, or good fats like coconut oil, eggs, or avocados, your body still is going to say, hey, I don't need to burn the fat that I've got because I'm eating fat. So if you want to do a fat loss program with this, on the website, there's a tab you can follow that says, follow this food plan to burn fat. Then there's another one that says, follow this plan to build muscle, because you can do it either way. You can do it either way. You can do it either way. And so the first step is changing what you eat, and the second step is changing when you eat. So many of you have heard of intermittent fasting or food restrictive eating, time restrictive eating, and you should do that. If there's 24 hours in the day, 24 hours in the day, we were taught when we were younger, you should have breakfast, you should have a snack, you should have lunch, you should have a snack, dinner, a snack, and go to bed to keep your metabolism going. That's just not true. Now, if you're young, if you're healthy and fit, you're very active, that may be a good food plan for you. By the way, doing a DNA test can show you that. It literally can show you uh, what types of foods, when you should eat, and etc. Now, that being said, let's talk about the intermittent aspect of it. What we start telling people to do is most people have a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner, 3 meals a day. And every time you eat, your insulin spikes. Well, when insulin spikes, hormones drop, testosterone drops, your inflammation goes up. Your body stops burning fat as fuel. Every time sugar spikes, that happens. So not only do we want to go to a carnivore ketogenic diet, which has been shown to reverse diabetes, help with heart disease, help with all kinds of neurodegenerative issues, including depression, insomnia, and anxiety. Literally, those things are game changers because it helps stop those spikes of sugars. What we tell most people to start with is instead of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, skip your breakfast. And then your first meal of the day, try to go as long as you can and have your first meal. And that first meal needs to be protein heavy. And then have your dinner. And you've got this basically 4 to 6 hour window of your feeding time. Out of 24 hours a day, if you'll eat within about a 4 to 6 hour window, and you can have, multiple meals in that time. I recommend a lot of people have 2 meals, have your lunch and your dinner, but have at least 1 or 2 protein shakes in that time frame. And the protein shakes should be not soy protein and not whey protein. If you're going to have whey and isolate whey, some people can get away with, but most people don't do well with whey because of its source. It's a dairy source. So the reality of it is that if you can now go to intermittent fasting, no breakfast, have lunch, and have dinner, that's a great way to start this protocol. Now, some people do better with having breakfast and having lunch. We got to still have it within that 4 hour to 6 hour window, regardless of when it is. But what we must not do is we must not go, well, I'm going to have 2 meals a day because Dr. Eric said that. I'm going to have a breakfast and I'm going to have a dinner. Well, that's not the narrowed fasting that we need. So if you'll follow the daily routine that's in that 45 easy reset, if you see some of the testimonials that we've gotten already, it's pretty profound. It's pretty amazing what's happened already. And it's simple, easy, and reproducible. And many people need to reset themselves because it's a 45-day reset. You can do it multiple 45 days. I've had some people that have want to lose over 100 pounds and they've needed to do 3 or 4 multiple resets. And that's been a game changer for them. And then making sure that you're consuming the right amount of water. So water or green teas or herbal teas, using the recommended sweeteners and etc., which, it's limited, but you can still have. That will help your body shift from that sugar burn to a fat burn. When you shift from a fat burn, you'll burn fat. You'll feel better. Your body goes into ketosis, so your brain functions better, and your inflammation goes down. Your body can heal. It's the anti-aging process for longevity. And now scientists are telling us that we can live to be 120, 150, even 200 years of life. And the only way we can do that is to implement these strategies, to use intermittent fasting, to have a carnivore ketogenic diet, to restrict our foods within a certain amount of time, and avoid a lot of the foods that are going to be, toxic for our body. Listen, Einstein said it very clearly. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. If you want to break out of that insanity, well, then we've got to start doing some different things. And that 45 easy reset, that you guys can find that book and download it for free on our site. You can print it off. It's actually cheaper if you purchase it. We have it on Amazon. You can purchase it there for less, and it's a great resource to write things down. Many of you have heard of 75 Hard. What if you could do 45 easy? In fact, it's interesting. My son, I was talking to him and one of his friends last night. One of his friends plays college football, and he's on day like 60 something of 40 of 75 hard. And he says, sucks. It's horrible. It's hard. And my son goes, well, I've been doing 45 easy, takes his shirt off and he's shredded. I'm like, that's a good marketing right there. So step one is changing the way you eat, your frequency, consistency, and the right foods. We got the resources there for you. Go get them. They're on that site. You can have access to that. Number two, let's talk about what's the process of resetting our body. Now, I'm going to tell you something. With the reset, we use a tripeptide formula that we created called Cellular Reset. This peptide, many of you guys know, you've heard about peptides. These are oral peptides. They're amazing how they work. What a peptide does is it stimulates the mitochondria inside your cell to turn back on. And every cell in the body has mitochondria in it. And the mitochondria is the energy machine for the cell. That's what makes the cell do what it's supposed to do. If that engine does not turn over, then we've got some big problems. And that organ that cell controls doesn't work. So in this cellular reset formula, there's 3 peptides. The first one is BPC 157. It does many, many things. It's known as the regeneration or the Wolverine peptide because, well, Wolverine, the X-Men character, you stabbed him and his body healed from anything. You shot him and he healed. He cut something and he healed. He broke something and he healed. BPC 157 doesn't work just like that, but it's very similar. It stimulates healing in the gut. And even Hippocrates, who's right over there, statue of him there, said healing all begins in the gut. All disease begins in the gut. Fix the gut and everything else heals. Well, BPC 157 also reduces inflammation systemically. Well, we know that chronic inflammation is the root cause of all cellular dysfunction. So BPC 157 is one of many things that has been shown to reduce inflammation in the body. So we have that peptide in here. So you're going to feel better. Your cells are going to be less inflamed. The second peptide that's in the cell signal, or sorry, the reset formula, is, well, it's called SLOOP. And SLOOP is a peptide that contracts the muscles. SLOOP mimics aerobic exercise in the body. SLOOP also helps the body have improved cardiovascular activity. So it's a way for us to literally have exercise in a bottle where our body, our muscle contractions are the metabolism of our body. If we lose our muscles, which is why certain peptides that people are taking high doses of, Ozempics and Wegovyas, people are losing weight, but they're losing muscle. I want you to gain muscle. I want you to have muscle contraction. I want you to lose fat, but I want you to gain muscle. One of the most important attributes to longevity is having strength, and that peptide the peptide SLOOP that's in here does that. That's in the neuro. That's in the cell reset, and then we also have an amazing peptide in here called 5-amino-1. And 5-amino-1 stimulates the mitochondria of our fat burning in our body. So your liver cells, the fat cells, it stimulates that so that your body can start burning fat. It helps stimulate glyconeogenesis, which is burning of stored fat. So what's really cool about it is for so many years, my patients have said, hey, can you just give me a pill that helps me lose weight, gains muscle, makes me feel better? Well, kind of. I mean, that's part of the cell reset. But I need you to understand something. Just like if someone's going to take testosterone or creatine or protein to gain muscles or whatever, if you don't do the right things, if you don't follow the right protocols, if you don't change the way you eat and sleep and exercise, like that's the foundation of all this. You're going to get frustrated. Now, you'll feel better. You'll burn fat. You'll lose energy. Your brain will fire better. You'll feel better just by taking that cell reset. But if you use it in conjunction with the 45 easy challenge protocol, this is a 45-day supply together. That's why it was made that way. But it's not just about resetting the metabolism, getting the mitochondria to just turn over and getting the muscles to contract and getting the cardiovascular system to improve. I mean, muscle mimicry is one of the most important things that you can have. If your muscles aren't stimulating because you're either not going to the gym or you're exercising wrong, or many of you are going to the gym and you're not getting the gains that you deserve. That's because the mitochondria of the skeletal muscle cells are turned off. You can't gain muscle. I hear my wife and so many people say that, they get so tired of going to the gym and not seeing a result. They're not putting on muscle or losing fat like they did when they were younger. We now have technology through the use of peptides and dietary changes that can absolutely do that for you. So that by itself is a game changer. But there's more to resetting the body than just using peptides and following a food plan. We got to clear the clutter. We got to remove the garbage from the body. We got to clear it all out. And we can do that, but first of all, you got to have help to do that. And you have to detoxify your body. We talked about heavy metals, microplastics. We talked about pesticides, larvicides, fungicides. We got to remove those toxins from the body. What if the toxins in your body are causing your cells not to function? That's totally true. I mean, I'm going to share tomorrow night. There are 25 medical conditions that are related to microplastics alone, including obesity and weight gain, including um, hormonal imbalances, including brain issues, including heart disease. I mean, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the whole nine yards. What if it was because your body's got too much clutter in it? And by the way, just doing colon cleanses isn't going to solve your problem. We've got to have specific action steps to follow to open up our mechanical lymphatic. And then we've got to do something to chemically drain. Like, this is what I use. I've built detox products now for, man, almost 18 years. And we've done a phenomenal job. I mean, phenomenal job doing it. And every time we build them, they just keep getting better. So this new formula is part of what I use to reset my patients. When you come to me and you've got all these itises and diseases and problems going on, the first thing I say is, all right, we're going to change the way you live your life, because that's the only way we can change your life. Doing the same thing is going to get the same result. So I'm going to put them on a 45-day reset. I'm going to put them on the cell reset products for at least 45 days. Most people 90 days. I'm going to put them on a detox program where most adults are going to use this detox formula that helps pull out plastics, heavy metals, reduces inflammation, but it also remineralizes the body. There's 84 of the 92 essential minerals and nutrients that the human body needs inside this formula. And many people say, well, if I'm taking binders, is that gonna not absorb the minerals? No, the binders that we have an affinity for things like heavy metals, microplastics, and other adjuvants or allergens in the body, where it's not going to affect these minerals. This has been a game changer for our patients and for a lot of chronic conditions. Clearing out the clutter has been amazing. And I, by the way, take this. I do 2 dropperfuls every day, but during the reset, I have people do 2 dropperfuls 2 or 3 times a day while they're cleansing their body. And man, do you feel amazing when your body really starts cleansing. I just had a picture of a patient of mine sent to me recently. He had acne and rosacea all over his face. He started using this formula to clear out the clutter. And guess what happened? His rosacea and everything cleared up. He's been dealing with it for decades. So step number 2 is we've got to remove the clutter. You got to remove things. Then step number 3, which is really important, and I cannot impress upon you the importance of rebuilding your gut microbiome. Like, let me say that again. You have to rebuild your gut microbiome. 95% of the global population has some type of dysbiosis, dysbacteriosis, some type of problem with their gut bacteria. And you may say, well, that's no big deal. That ain't me. What if I told you that an imbalance in your gut microbiome can cause obesity, can cause hormone imbalances, can cause blood sugar, insulin sensitivities. It can cause you to have blood supply issues. It can cause you to have neurotransmitter production issues, which means your brain can't function like it's supposed to. What if there were correlations with autoimmune and chronic inflammatory issues in the body? We've got to clear out the clutter, but we've also got to repair that gut microbiome. And most people have so much abnormal, bad pathogenic bacteria in their body, overgrowth of candida, overgrowth of fungus, overgrowth of yeast, parasites in their system. Like, that's a big problem that leads to so many other issues. I mean, there's data and research that shows that autoimmune and even cancerous issues could be leading to parasite problems from parasitic issues. So I just want to encourage you that we got to build that bacteria back up. And building your bacteria back up, it's not like flipping a switch. It's like repairing a forest after a fire's happened. We got to take time and build it back up. Did you know that one prescription antibiotic per year can destroy your normal microbiome for up to 12, in some cases up to 18 months? And I've seen some people respond faster, but usually it's around 12 to 18 months that there's destruction within the microbiome. So they follow the 45 easy food plan. They use the Detox Pro Plus, and then I put them on the Master Microbiotics. This is a very unique formula, very unique formula. Um, the formula of Master Microbiotics really came from studies that we did looking at the longevity studies and the blue zones. There are areas of the world where people typically tend to live longer. And there's a study that's been going on for decades called the longevity study. And they look at all kinds of social, economical, emotional, physical, chemical reasons why people live longer, why they look younger, why they don't have diseases. And there's a lot of commonalities, but one of the most important commonalities is the health of their microbiome. And so this Master Microbiotics is a spore-based bacteria that has the most common bacteria that are normally in those regions of the world, those blue zones that are not in industrialized areas like where we live. And by the way, one of the reasons industrialized areas like we live in don't have those bacteria is because of what's in our environment and in our air. There is heavy metals, microplastics, all kinds of things in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. Well, I'm telling you that once you clear out the clutter, because a lot of people have an overgrowth of bad bacteria called a biofilm, that if you take the Detox Pro Plus and the Master Microbiotics together with, that can help get rid of the biofilm. The biofilm is a bunch of cells and exosomes and enzymes and bad bacteria and all this stuff that's clumped together. That's really like a protective mechanism. So you can't destroy the bad bacteria. But there's specific types of lactobacillus that are in here that destroy those pathogenic bacteria. And there's specific types of bifidobacteria in here that restore the immune system function. This is without question the most powerful probiotic that we've ever created, that I've ever used with my patients. And literally 2 a day is all people need, whether you take it in the morning like it's prescribed, or I take 2 at bedtime. Or if you can't swallow pills, open this up, because these capsules have an over 90% success rate of getting delivered to the small intestine, where the bacteria can go, where it can attach, and where it can actually repopulate. And we put a very specific peptide in here as well called BPC 157 to help that bacteria heal, and the cells in the gut, they heal and seal, because we get leaky gut. The toxins in our intestines leak into our blood. Those toxins then get into that's where a lot of the microplastics get into the bloodstream from the gut. They get in from breathing in, they get in from eating, and then it gets in the gut if we have leaky gut. But if you don't have leaky gut, it substantially reduces the chances of those toxins getting into your blood supply. And now, look, the latest research is saying that the average person has over a credit card size worth of microplastics in their body. They have, 8.2 milligrams of plastics in their testicles. I mean, this is crazy what's happening. No wonder testosterone's low. No wonder we're having all these issues with infertility and hormone imbalances. So I put them on the 45 easy protocol right out of the gate. Here's what you're going to eat for the next 45 days. You're going to take a cell reset, 2 of those per day. You're going to take either 2 first thing in the morning, or you're going to take 1 in the morning and 1 midday. And that's your dose for the day. And then you're going to do 2 of the probiotics per day, and you're going to do the dosing recommended for the detox drops. That'll help clear the clutter, all those things. Now, last but not least, the final thing, the 4th thing I put a person on is I put them on our cell signal formula. Our cell signal formula does a lot of things. First of all, 75% of the population has MTHFR, and other types of methylation gene imbalances. Okay. And and I'll tell you that 75% of the population doesn't know what it feels like to feel good. When you've got the MTHFR, your body can't detox. It can't use vitamins as energy. The food you eat doesn't convert into energy that can cause more autoimmune issues and infertility and migraines and chronic fatigue and pain and autoimmune, all are correlative to MTHFR gene imbalances. Now, the cell signal formula was created for those individuals. Everyone that goes through my initial protocol, the 45-day reset, I put them on the cell signal. They take 3 of these in the morning and 3 midday. Now, a lot of you are going, man, that's a lot of stuff. Well, you've got a lot going on, and you've had a lot going on for a long time. And because you don't know what it feels like to feel good, this is going to help you, accomplish that quicker. But one of the things that we put in this formula is something called BHB. BHB is it's a compound that helps the body make ketones. Ketones are what the body makes when it burns fat as fuel. If we get the body burning fat as fuel on a regular basis and producing ketones, guess what happens? The body wants to continue to make ketones. So it's biohacking the body to be in a state of fasting. Well, those ketones help the brain. Ketones in the brain have been known to help with seizures and anxiety and depression and insomnia and all these things. That's what the medical literature says. It also helps you think more clearly, and all kinds of things are correlative and causative to having an imbalance of ketones. And when you get those ketones up, amazing things happen. Ketones also help the body burn fat as fuel. So it helps burn fat off the organs and fat off the abdominal area and fat off the jowl and off the midsection where it's difficult to burn that. But the most important thing, in addition to the BHB that's in here that puts you in ketosis, which is amazing for fat loss and energy and all the things that I told you, is it's got the methylated B vitamins in it that your body needs to move what's called the Krebs cycle and ATP cycle around so that you can make energy. And then I put in here some amino acids and peptides that are really specific for the body that help the body deal with what's called overmethylation. You see, a lot of people methylate too much, and that can cause them to have anxiety and nervousness, and even when they take the correct type of B vitamins. So we specifically formulated this so that the blend has those amino acids in it and the proper peptides to keep that going without causing anxiety and stress and all those other issues. So this is what I start a lot of my patients with. And then, we have a lot of folks that come see me that have neurological issues, like their brain's not turning and firing like it's supposed to. They've got long COVID and they can't think well, or they've got vestibular balance issues or ringing in the ears, or they just, they're 50 years old. They're working with 20 and 30-year-old, and they just can't mentally keep up with everything. Their words are not coming out the way that it's supposed to. Their body's just neurologically deprived. And there's 2 reasons that happens. One is low blood flow to the brain, and number 2 is low synapses. And low synapses means the brain's not firing like it's supposed to. In fact, have you ever heard of the term when someone says, that guy's really bright, or that lady, she's a bright lady? Or have you ever heard someone say that guy's really dull? Do you know where that term came from? That came from when we started doing brain scans in the 80s and 90s. And when we look at those scans, they're called SPECT scans and functional MRIs. And those scans, when they scan your brain, they light up like a Christmas tree. And it should light up with blues and greens and all these beautiful colors. But if it's brown or red or black, that's not good. If it's dull colors, the brain's not firing. The signals aren't getting through. It's almost like, if I'm trying to call you and you're driving through the mountains and it just, your brain doesn't work. You can't get that connection. So I use, in that case, another formula that we created called Neuro Reboot. And when my patients come see me, if they have a lot of those symptoms or cold hands and feet, numbness, tingling, neuropathy, if they've had chemo in the past, we always have a conversation about using the Neuro Reboot formula. The Neuro Reboot formula has 3 peptides in it as well. It has BPC 157, which also helps the brain with what's called therapeutic anastomosis, therapeutic angiogenesis, which is making more blood vessels, getting more blood supply to those areas. Because stress, head injuries, medications, caffeine, coffee, energy drinks all cause the brain to actually compress its blood supply. So that's a big problem. So that BPC 157 is in here. It also lowers inflammation, neurological, neuro brain gut inflammation. We also have a peptide in here called dihexa. Dihexa restores the brain. It helps the brain make something called BDNF. BDNF is the miracle grow, if you will, for the brain. BDNF is what allows new synapses and new connections and new memories to fire. That's why this formula. I just had one of my team members here, and he says he calls it the blue brain pill because it made his brain go from like a brownish red color, which is low tone, low function, to blue. Now his brain's firing like it's supposed to. And by the way, dihexa does a lot of other things in it as well. And the cell reset also reduces an enzyme in the body called NNMT. That's the aging enzyme. And so we can use these peptides from an anti-aging standpoint because it downregulates that enzyme in the body. But the third peptide that's in this neuro reboot is called tesofensine. And tesofensine helps a lot with the neurotransmitters in the body, dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline, all those things, because if you're low in those, you're going to have a higher risk of infections and not infections, addictions. You're going to have a dopamine problem. You're going to have focus and concentration issues. You're going to get distracted very easy. You're going to be in the sympathetic fight or flight response. This helps the body stimulate the parasympathetic. So you can take this 2 a day as well. A lot of people will take this in the morning, but I have a lot of my patients that are now taking one in the morning and one at nighttime, and they're saying it helps them sleep better, feel more relaxed, because there are GABA, which is a neurotransmitter in the gut, GABA stimulators in here that helps the body relax. If your GABA is low, you can't sleep. If your GABA is really low, you get shakes. If your GABA is really, really low, you can get like diseases like Parkinson's. So this is the regiment that we put our people on when we talk about resetting the body. And yes, I get it. It seems like a lot, but man, this is an investment in your health. And so many people have been sick and tired for so many years and they don't know what to do and they don't know how to help themselves. And I'm telling you, step one is just reset your body. There's something that I like to refer to as the bio-limitless way. And it's a 7-step process. Step number one is we test, we don't guess. Let's run some tests and find out what's going on. Let's do a genetic profile. Soon I'll be able to give you guys direct to consumer, a blood test that you can do that can help your body test for heavy metals and microplastics and all those things. And soon we'll be able to send you at home a hormone test and a vitamin D test and a blood sugar test and allergies, all those things direct to you. But it's a process to get to that point. And so number one is test, not guess. Number two is reset your body. And that's what I talk about first. Let's do a reset. Let's do a 45-day reset. Let's see how our body cellularly is functioning when we reset the body and we remove, which is step number 3, removing the clutter. So I want to get the toxins out of the body, the microplastics, the heavy metals, the glyphosates. I want to remove that as much as possible. And then step number 4 is we want to recharge the cells. Your cells in your body are much like your cell phone. And if your cell phone loses its charge, you can't make a call. Your apps don't work. I mean, we have big problems with that. And so that cell signal formula has been shown to improve pH, which is a chemical measurement of electricity in your body. So it's a very rudimentary way to measure your cellular vibration. But it's been shown to improve ATP, energy production, helps with that Krebs cycle and that MTHFR. So recharging your cells with cell signal is huge. Step number 5 is rebuilding the microbiome. That is so important. We do it all simultaneously, even though it is a step-by-step process. We don't do one for a small amount of time, then 2, then 3. We try to do all of them at the same time. Rebuilding that gut microbiome and the microbiota, because that stimulates your cells more than anything. You know, you have trillions of cells in your body, but you have a 10 to 100x bacterial cells in and on your body. So the quality of your health is in direct proportion to the health of the bacteria in your body as well. And it's a big deal. Wait till I do a deep dive on the master microbiotic and I do a deep dive on gut health. That's a big, big issue. So rebuilding that microbiome is essential for all health. It's one of the reasons why the blue zones are so good. And yes, it is because fruits and vegetables, clean fruits and vegetables, are the cornerstone of the diet of a lot of folks in the blue zones. And then we want to reboot. I want to reboot the brain and the nervous system. You have two components of your brain. You have a sympathetic and a parasympathetic. You have a gas pedal and a brake pedal. I want to get that brake pedal to stimulate. I want to stimulate the rest and relaxation part of the brain. I want to stimulate the digestive part. I want to stimulate the healing part and the sleeping part. That's what the neuro reboot can do. And we put together all kinds of protocols and exercise panels to follow. We've done all kinds. We got everything for you. I've taken a functional medicine practice and we've put it in a direct-to-consumer usable way. And that's what BioLimitless is all about. And then last but not least, step number 7 is you should refuel your body. Eating for your DNA lifestyle, making sure that you have the right foods and the right macros and the right everything that's best for your body. And soon we'll have something that we can give to you that accomplishes that. Because I want to try to make this as simple for you, because it's not difficult to get healthy. It's really not. You just have to understand where you're at and where you want to be and the action steps that you have to take to get there. And you have to be consistent for that. If you consistently do the right things, you're going to get the right results. If you don't do the right things, you're going to get negative results. So I wanted to spend some time with you guys today. I know I've talked a little longer than I said I would. I normally do, but I wanted to share how I reset my patients, and what works for them should work for you. It works for everybody. But you got to figure out where you're at in your health journey and where you want to start and where you want to go. So give me a thumbs up if you learned something so far tonight. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and give me a thumbs up if you know people who probably should have been here tonight and watched this. So awesome. I see you guys. I see you. Exactly. So if you have questions, I want you to type them in. And if you have, yeah, let me pull this up. So type them in the chat below, and I'm happy to answer those. So let's go through good. All right, let me go through some of these questions. So let's do, I'm going to pull them up. All right. So I'm going to, Sheila, I'm going to pull your question up. I hope that's okay. So Sheila says, hey, by the way, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not your doctor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay. So let's get into it. So Sheila says, hey, my husband was diagnosed with aggressive Alzheimer's. I'm sorry to hear that. About 18 months ago. He was put on medication, and about 45 days ago, another medication. And I want to start him on neuro reboot. Can all that be taken together? Okay. So let me, first of all, the answer is yes. 100% yes. I'm sorry to hear that about your husband. Let me just tell you this. I just Monday and Tuesday of this week, a huge article came out showing that there's a massive correlation between blood sugar imbalances, so insulin resistance, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's. We now know that type 2 diabetes and blood sugar issues that have been in the body for a long time can cause issues in demyelinization and insulin resistance to the brain and the gut. And so getting the blood sugars to balance out and then stimulating the brain back by giving it the right nutrients, the right foods, and etc. The brain needs a lot of fat, can be the key. That really can be the key. Needs a lot of good fat. And I'm going to tell you my personal experience. If I have patients that are in my practice and they're coming for help with that kind of condition, Alzheimer's or whatever, and I see it all the time, we talk to them about what medications they're on. And if they're on statin drugs, statins block your liver's ability to produce cholesterol like it's supposed to. And you need that cholesterol to fix the brain. So the reality of it is that a lot of the meds that people take are causing problems. So yes, the neuro reboot's good, but I'm telling you, most likely there's a lot of heavy metals, microplastics, and toxins in his body and in anybody's body that has neuro issues. So put them on the Detox Pro Plus as well. Early on, I do 2 dropperfuls 3 times a day just to clear the clutter. Do that for a good 6 to 8 weeks and then go back to the maintenance dose, which is 2 droppers per day. And then I would also put him on something to stimulate his mitochondria. That cell signal formula would be great for that. And then the neuro reboot. So the answer is yes. And there's no contraindications with those medications at all. There's really no contraindications with any of our products, with any meds that you're taking, other than if you're pregnant, there's certain restrictions. Like we're not going to put pregnant women on peptides to lose fat, right? Uh, the peptide formulas, which are the Neuro Reboot and the Cell Reset, are for adults unless prescribed by a doctor for kids. But I would put any neurodegenerative person on a ketogenic diet, number one, master microbiotic plan to fix their gut, Detox Pro Plus to pull the toxins out, and a cellular reset. And I would give my body a solid 6 months of consistently doing that and keeping the body moving before I change anything else. Okay. So that's really, really good. Okay. So, all right. Another question. Some of these, there's a lot of great questions in here. Okay. Here's another one. Let me throw it up here. Andre, what's up, Andre? Andre says, is it okay to take all of the BioLimit's products together in the morning? Of course it is. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When your body starts to produce energy again, ATP, when your neurons start wiring and firing, you start clearing out some of the clutter. Your body's going to change its patterns. You may crave different foods. Your energy may be different during times of the day. Sometimes when people start taking a lot of these formulas, they don't sleep as well as they did the first, for the first week or so. That's normal. Your body's resetting itself. It's kind of like going to the gym. Like when I go to the gym, I want to be sore the next day so I know that something's working. I got to see some change. And those are good signs of change. So yes, they are. And another question I get is, Doc, you put BPC 157 in a lot of these products. Is it safe to take that much? Totally. The peptide BPC 157, first of all, we microdose this with our formulas. And there are no LD50s. You're not going to you don't need to take too much, but the way we've got it dialed in, it's perfect. We've actually made these products so that you could take all of them at the same time. Okay. So, perfect. Great question, Andre. All right. Let's see here. I've got some more questions, man. This is a big one. Let me see if I can put this up. I want to read them before I put them up so I don't put anything too embarrassing or whatever up on the screen. And if you don't want me to put it up there, say, hey, keep this one private. All right. I'm going to keep this one private. So someone mentioned a friend of mine began noticing symptoms around the age of 25. He based what was going on. She based what was going on, suspected that she might have trigeminal neuralgia issues based on her research. She wasn't diagnosed, went to the hospital. Man, so she's got diagnosis of all kinds of stuff going on. So severe constipation, especially when they eat certain foods, too much salt, they sweat a lot. Okay. So she did a 3-day fast. And on the third day after drinking enzyme juice, a strange odor came out. Her body's toxic. So let me just tell you, in my world, what I learned as a functional medicine doctor, and when I went through my, natural medicine training, when in doubt of what's going on with somebody, detox them. When in doubt, detox them. Assume, that there's some type of overgrowth of bad bacteria, parasites, candida, yeast, whatever. What I would suggest for this individual, anybody like that, is do exactly what I said. Let's reset their body. Let's do 45 days of reset while we're clearing out the toxins and we're rebuilding the gut microbiome. At a minimum, let's do that. And let's give it 45 days and see how the body responds. Because, man, I'm telling you that this could be really beneficial then potentially. All right. Let's see. Here's another one. This is a big one. Hey, Doc, when will the detox products be available? This week. We've been holding on to them to sell them to everybody until we had everything the way that we wanted it in all of our warehouses to be able to ship it all across the US and all across into Japan and etc. It's available. I'm doing a webinar tomorrow night to actually launch it. Okay. So Thursday night, tomorrow night, I think it's the 22nd. Tonight's the 21st, I believe. So tomorrow night, the 22nd of May, 7 p.m. Central, I'm doing a webinar again on this topic. Okay. The topic is all about detox. And I'm going to go deep. We're going to go deep into it. So tomorrow I'm doing the webinar. We're launching the products. We're going to go live. It's going to be amazing. So super pumped for you guys to get that. Okay. So this is Kim. This is a good question. Hey, Miss Kim. Kim says, hey, I've had 3 sets of blood work done over a period of time. I've stopped my thyroid meds and I'm coming to see you. Oh, okay, cool. Come see me. Do you have any issues with me stopping my meds now? Well, that's your decision. Come see me and we'll run some tests and find out what's going on. Because here's the thing: the thyroid is a secondary organ. It gets blamed for a lot of things that it's not responsible for. A lot of times the thyroid gets out of whack because either the adrenals are bad, the ovaries are bad, your hormones are out of whack, your GI tract's off, your brain could be stressed. You could have nerve issues in the middle part of your neck that mess up your thyroid. All those things could be there. So I look forward to seeing you. Very, very good. Very, very good. Let's see. So another one, someone says, do I recommend TUDCA for fatty liver issues? Well, in some cases we do. TUDCA is shown to be very beneficial for non-alcoholic fatty liver issue, but you want to know some of the best things for fatty liver stuff is getting the body to burn fat off the liver again. And that's intermittent fasting. That's a carnivore keto type diet. That's getting a lot of the microplastics and toxins out of your system. Because what happens is those microplastics lodge into your organs. They can't filter anymore. And if they can't filter anymore, then they don't work. And then what else happens is those microplastics lead to estrogen dominance, which causes testosterone to drop, weight to gain, and it's hard to burn fat anywhere on your body, and your liver just stores it. So that's what you should do, Miss Claudia. Perfect. All right, here's a big one. Somebody asked a question about tinnitus or tinnitus. Let me tell you something. So George, tinnitus is, man, it's so common. I see it so common. There's so many causes. By the way, it can be caused by abnormal bacteria. If a doctor looks in your ears and there's an overgrowth of yeast or candida in there, that's an indication that you should be clearing out the toxins and putting the right bacteria back in. Most of my patients that come see me, first thing I do is I detox their body for a minimum of 3 months, okay, 90 days. So I do 245 resets with them. I put them on the Detox Pro Plus formula because I want to pull the toxins out. I put them on the Master Microbiotic formula because I want to get the right bacteria in. And then we do a little deeper digging. There could be muscles in the ear that are out of balance. You could be out of alignment in your upper neck. The nerves in your neck control your ears. You could have issues with the muscles in there. The eardrum could be either protruding or flat. So there's so many things that can cause it. There's a little device that we use that we can put in your ear, and we can put pressure in or pressure out that can help. So there's so many things that can be done. I know how frustrating ringing in the ears can be, and it's just there's a lot that can be done. You need to try to do everything you can to do this. Okay. Let's see. Another question. Miss Joyce says, hey doc. Hey, Miss Joyce, how are you? Is it best to do a 15-day cleanse before taking the detox products? No, I typically start people at the same time. Now, I have a lot of folks that just do the detox. They're going to get a result from it, but not a good one, not as good as it should be. So you can't out supplement a poor lifestyle. You can try, and I'm happy to send you the products to do it. It's just not going to get you the result that you deserve best. So I would suggest if you're going to detox, follow the detox manual with it. Do the 45 reset with that. That's the best way to do it, Joyce, is that just commit to it and make it happen. Here's another one. I get this question a lot. Okay, so Annette asked about mast cell activation syndrome and histamines. All right, man, that is totally, first of all, you got to detox the body with that. Something's causing that mast cell to hyperactivate. Yes, there can be genetic issues, but if you're dealing with a lot of like environmental or food sensitivities, that's 100% toxic in the body, and your gut microbiome is out of balance. There are specific bacteria that help from an antihistamine response. There are bacteria that help the body make enzymes like amylase that reduce the histamine response. Now, there are a lot of things you can do. I mean, MAO enzymes are okay while you're trying to figure this out, but every single patient of mine that has mast cell activation, I put all of them on a reset. I reset everybody at first because, man, like once you push that reset button, it's there's so many things you can do after that. Because you push the reset, a lot of the main problems go away, and then you can go, okay, now I just need to deal with these guys. And a lot of times it's really simple. It's literally just getting the detox to happen, the cells to turn back on, the microbiome built back up, and whatever's going on neurologically or metabolically turned on through peptides. So anyway, that's a great question. Okay. Great question, Annette. So Sandy says, can't wait for the detox formula. You're welcome. Thank you. I'm so excited about that. A lot of you guys have used formulas that I created in the past. I mean, some of you used my warrior water, which was great. It was so good. This is so much better. This is literally like a not even a 10x better. It's like a infinity X better because I've got the minerals. I've got things that pull out plastics, and the other ones just didn't do that. So okay, perfect. And Miss Kim says when she comes sees me, I'm bringing fresh eggs too. Thank you, because that's one of my favorite things to have. Love you guys. Appreciate it. First of all, thank you guys so much for being with me tonight. Give me a thumbs up if this was, you learned something, you enjoyed it. And if you think other people should be coming to these, I'll be doing this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time at this link, biolimitless.com/live. You can also go to all of our social media sites as well and check us out. So thumbs up if you guys enjoyed all this, because I enjoyed being with you. I got to jump on another Zoom. I got an AMA call. That's right. I do Ask Me Anything calls with groups of people. So if you're a nutritional influencer, if you're a network leader and you want me to jump on a Zoom with you to talk about the products, talk about health, I'll do AMAs with you guys, and I'm happy to do it. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love and appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for the support over the years. And until we meet again, everybody, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you. God bless America. God bless this beautiful, beautiful world. And thank you so much. And remember, stay smart out there and protect your babies. I'll see you guys next week. Be well.